Hi, it's Seth Streeter here, and we're on our inspired living journey thinking about the physical wellness and how we can improve our health. And I have an expert in this dimension, Nora Tobin. Thank you, Nora, for being here today.
Thank you, Seth. I'm excited to be here.
Wonderful. Well, when we think about health, we think about a lot of things from exercise to nutrition to sleep. We're actually going to talk about stress and how stress can really be an impediment to being our best version of ourselves. So, Nora, maybe you can talk a little bit about stress. What is it and how does it affect our bodies?
So it's an interesting topic because I think first and foremost we think of it as a negative, and I'll explain why it's negative in a certain context, and then I'll also explain a couple ways we can actually incorporate some positive stressors to actually give us these serious adaptations that's going to help us just look and feel even better.
Great.
So what happens with stress is our cortisol is our quote-unquote stress hormone. So you can think of cortisol as a way to just get you up in the morning. So that cortisol is produced and it's going to get us up in the morning for just daily tasks. So making the coffee, picking up the kids, whatever it might be. We need to make a certain amount of cortisol. Cortisol is usually higher in the morning. What happens is cortisol is supposed to rise, fall, rise and fall, almost looking like a sine and cosine chart until the evening when it's really supposed to fall, setting us up for sleep. So increasing our melatonin production, lowering our cortisol, helping us get into that deep sleep. What's typically happening with our stressful lives and our busy lifestyles is that cortisol rises in the morning and then it falls a little bit and then it rises and it just kind of keeps rising, or it can keep rising. So depending on how we manage our stress, depending on how much stress is in any given day.
And how many late night emails we read.
Exactly. And on top of that, being in front of screens all day,
right,
that blue light, that really detrimental light is going to keep that cortisol high.
Got it.
And then when we're sitting like this, our cortisol has a tendency to rise and all these other beneficial hormones start to fall. So there's a lot of things at play, but why it's really important for us, I think you can think of it, or I like to think of it as a triangle. So the cortisol is at the top. Our body's very efficient. We are high performers. We know that we got to keep going every day at this top-notch speed.
Yes, we do.
That's why you're a high performer. But what's happening with that speed, and I'm not telling you to slow down by any means, and by no means, you don't have to slow down, but what's happening when our cortisol is high is our body's efficient. So it's going to start to pull from other places in the body. So if you think of it like that triangle, it's going to pull from either the thyroid, which governs weight management, weight loss, energy,
right,
or it's going to pull from estrogen, testosterone, things that govern a lot of other issues in our body, especially sex drive.
Right.
So we are going to all have a different form of stress, and we're all going to see it in different ways, but some might see it in weight gain. So if our stress is high, no matter how well our nutrition is, we're going to start storing fat, especially in the abdominal region. It's actually been proven that that's where we store fat when cortisol is high. Shocking, I thought. And then number two, our sex drive will go down because we're pulling from those other two hormones.
Right.
So there is this really interesting balance, and this is an important thing just to know. When we're stressed, it's going to start to affect other areas of our life.
Okay.
So all that being said, there are just simple ways to shift out of that fight or flight mode, that sympathetic nervous system, and into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest, recover, and focus mode. I do most of my work with executives like yourself who have very little time and are not going to go meditate for 30 minutes.
Right.
So I'm not about to tell you that.
Okay.
But what's happening when we do take these 2 to 3 minute shifts in our day is we're actually going to shift states, shift in that parasympathetic system, lower our cortisol, and greatly come back to that hormone balance.
In just 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes, that's all it
Wow.
takes.
Okay.
So the first one is really simple. You would just stand up nice and tall. We can even do this for 3 rounds. You can close your eyes, draw your shoulders down and back. First and foremost, stand up straight. So when we're not standing up straight, that cortisol raises. So we want to stand up straight. Our second move is going to be inhaling for a 3 count. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath at the top for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5. Inhale. Hold. exhale. One more inhale. Hold. Exhale for 5. Nice. Gently opening your eyes. So it's very subtle. We did just 3 rounds of that. But if you took a couple minutes to do it, you don't even have to take a couple minutes. I already feel a shift.
I feel a shift too. Yeah.
So it's that longer exhale. So you can do any version of that. You can do 4 and 8, 5 and 10.
Okay.
Just know that that longer exhale is that's what's going to put you into that the parasympathetic nervous system.
Got it.
Second strategy, and now that we can potentially do this if we're working from home, but you can also just incorporate this at the end of the day. Lie with your legs up the wall.
Okay.
So just simply lie on your back, legs up, feet over your hips.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually an ancient yogi technique, but what it does is help you shift into that parasympathetic system and greatly calm the nervous system without really having to do much. You just lie there.
Yeah, I can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Preferably without your phone. I've had clients send me messages that they're lying with their legs up the wall, so maybe do it
Right.
without the phone,
Okay.
but it's a great way to just easily shift.
Wonderful.
And then the third strategy, and this is actually tying into the more of the positive stress, which we'll also dive into in our fitness conversation. But the positive stress is that cold therapy. So Wim Hof did this really well, and he did it to the extreme, where you get in ice baths
Right.
and things that are quite extreme, which you might not be doing in the middle of your workday. But one quick way to actually, it's almost like it energizes you, but it calms the nervous system at the same time, providing more focus and clean energy or clear energy, is by getting your face really cold. So there's a lot of nerves in our face and our head. And what you want to do is either take a bowl and put ice and water in it and just dip your face in it, so you
Like
don't
you're
have
bobbing
to actually,
for apples as a kid.
exactly.
Okay.
Or you can take an ice cube and just simply rub it across your face,
Huh.
and it actually can wake you up in a way, but wake you up to the point where you're focused, not jittery
Right.
like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And then the extreme version of that is cryogenic and ice baths and things like that, which I think are amazing, and I love if you have access to that and
Right.
you can do it, and it greatly lowers your inflammation and calms the nervous system. But simply just putting ice on your face will help with that as well.
Great. Those are great takeaways.
So yeah, just as a reminder, quick takeaways: that 3 and 5 breath. You can do it anywhere. You can even do it on a conference call when you're getting agitated. It's a great thing to calm the body, calm the mind. Number 2 would be lying with your legs up the wall.
Yep.
Anywhere from a couple minutes to 15 minutes. You can stay in that as long as it feels good for you. And then that ice, so cold therapy, is really quite helpful.
Wonderful. Well, those are great ways to de-stress so we can live our best lives. Thank you so much, Nora, for sharing those tips with us.
Thank you, Seth. I hope they're helpful, and it's, again, meant to serve you in your very busy lifestyle. You're already high performers doing such a great job, so this will just enhance that.
Great. Thank you.